You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the May 20th meeting for the Trail Creek Town Council. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening, everybody. If you can all stand to join me in the pledge to open the meeting tonight. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. And has everyone had a chance to read through the minutes from April? I've read them. Any corrections or changes to the April minutes? If not, can we have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
And a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to the fund report. Crystal, anything that stands out that we should know about this month?
It's the same thing as last month. The negatives will work itself out here.
Okay.
Okay.
Great, thank you. Okay. Any questions on the fund report? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
I move to approve the fund report as presented.
And a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And next you should have the cash reconciliation, I'm just going to call it, and the depository statement. And that's more for informational purposes. That does not require an approval. Thank you, Crystal, for that. That's helpful.
Again, just a reminder on that report, it just shows that my balance to zero. If you look at your fund report, it matches the same as the second page of the bank rec, showing that everything balanced.
Thank you. Moving on to the payment of the bills. The restrooms at the park, is the Michigan City paying for those, or are we paying for those the entire year? Because I thought they paid for them during the baseball season,
So I believe the park department pays for that for the ADA.
just this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
The other two are
Yeah.
paid.
The other two are paid for. Okay,
correct.
thank you. No, I don't think they are as of right now, although that may change.
Right.
I make a motion to approve the bills.
I'll second. Aye.
Aye.
Um, we had several phone calls in the last 2 days just to say how great the street department has been doing on the storm pickup, and that they see them out there and they see how quickly they're moving through the town.
Died. I think it went off by itself. Always nice to hear when there's a job well done. So glad to hear that's passed along. Okay, I don't believe there's a report for MS4 as of right now. So we'll move on to our attorney. Thank you.
I heard from the attorney that was representing and corresponding with the nonprofit entity. They're located in Florida. He has since lost contact, so he has authorized me. Unfortunately, ethically, I had to ask his permission. So now I do have their contact information as well as the deed. So that's just a work in progress. I'll keep you updated, but we're hopeful that we can make some headway. For instance, having them just sign that deed over to the town.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on to our engineer.
The CCMG 2025 advertisement for bid has been sent to the newspapers. The first advertisement should appear May 21st. The second one will appear 7 days after that on the 28th. June 2nd will be the pre-bid meeting, and that's mandatory for all bidders. A draft to Dave Baker and Jenny and Crystal was sent out for possible comments upon the plan, which shouldn't affect the bidding at all. The project manual to the clerk treasurer, Crystal, I think, was that sent out today? So she should have got that today. On Thursday, June 12th, at 10 a.m., we request a special meeting for the bid opening. Do we have to have a vote for that to make a special meeting, Chris?
Mhm.
Yeah, and then Monday, the following Monday after that Thursday, June 16th, we request that another special meeting to make the award. And Sam Oze from our office would really like to have that done before the regular town council meeting, because he has to get stuff done and sent in to NDOT. And he would like to have that done before the June 25th meeting. So if we could have two special meetings, one for the opening and one for the award, that would make Sam really, really happy.
Okay, so you're looking for June 12th, which is a Thursday?
Right, Thursday, June 12th, and then Monday, June
and
16th.
Monday, June 16th,
Yes.
and both at 10 a.m.
Well, the first one, the bid opening, 10 a.m., but the other one can be whatever time is most convenient for you.
Okay, having that in the evening, I think would be better for most of us.
Or would
Yes.
you consider moving your regular meeting to that Monday and it wouldn't be special? I mean, you could just advertise moving that meeting.
Is everyone available on that date?
It's a day before.
It's a Monday, right? It's the
Yeah,
the night
Your
before.
Regular meeting.
Mhm.
Right. Right. Well, I think the regular meeting,
Well,
is
you're
it the
Is the
17th? or is
it's
it-
the 17th.
Because it's the
Yeah.
third Tuesday.
So do you need?
I
a
thought
regular-
the 25th.
No.
No?
The third Tuesday.
Okay, I got my third Tuesdays mixed up.
So would we be able to wait until that Tuesday for the next day, or would you want it on the 16th?
If it's the next day, the 17th, that probably would be okay.
That would be
Okay,
great.
that would
Yeah.
be great, because then we wouldn't have to schedule a second
Yes, you're right.
special meeting. So we'll have just the one on the
I didn't
12th.
think we're using the Mayan calendar anymore, but yeah. Yeah, the
So-
17th would be
okay.
okay.
Gregorian.
So just the one on the 12th then. And so we'll need a motion to have that special meeting for the bid opening on June 12th at 10 a.m. So we need a motion to be able to hold that meeting.
I motion.
Thank you, Brian.
I'll second.
Thank you, Pete. Was just going to ask, any further discussion or questions?
I had a question on that. On that 10 a.m. meeting, are all council members required to be there?
No.
Okay.
No.
And from my perspective, but I will abide by what they let, you don't even have to have a formal meeting just for opening.
Right.
You could have one person, there's no votes that are gonna happen, you're gonna acknowledge who's there. You're going to, or who submitted, right, and open them, but nothing else will get done, no
Yeah.
decisions will be
Correct.
made, so.
Chris is correct
Mhm.
on all of that. Usually we like to keep things up front in front of the public and all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. So
And it's
so that
okay
we
to
have
do
that
that, but
time.
if for some reason you ended up with not a quorum and one person, you're still okay.
To
You will
open
have
the-
advertised, everybody will be out in the opening, but nobody should stress that as long as you have one. Or your representative would be sufficient as well.
Thank you for that clarification. So we have a motion and a second on the table.
Can we repeat that? The
So the
motion?
motion is to hold a special meeting for bid opening on
June 12th.
Thursday, June 12th at 10 a.m.
And who is that made by?
Brian made the motion.
Okay,
Second.
Pete second.
thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
the only other thing I have is about the park department, which is the next thing on the agenda. Can I just ease into that?
Sure.
Laura probably knows more about this than I do, but I know Ryan Laughlin from our company has been meeting with park department people about the 5-year master plan. I know he sent something out very late this afternoon for the park board and the town council to take notice of it. It's going to be about surveying the two big parks and making the Doug Buell sketch into a actual plan. And there was some dollar amount. I don't have that with me. I didn't see it until very late
20,000,
myself.
20,000.
Yeah. So I know there's that on the board. I don't know if you need to take a vote on that to accept that or not, or what you want to do with it. Like I said, I didn't see it until very late this afternoon either.
Okay. And I guess we will segue into the park department. So Laura, if you have anything else to
Okay.
comment on that, then we'll.
Okay,
address
I
it at
just,
the time.
I have a report to read from Katrina. We
You-
had a meeting on May 20th. The Nelson Park playground replacement, the slide is broke and has been temporarily patched. The entire play set is at the end of its life and needs full replacement. We are applying for a $25,000 grant, but the total cost, including equipment, installation, ADA compliant mulch, and labor will exceed that amount. We kindly request council assistance in funding this project. The master plan was accepted from 2025 to 30. And I would personally just like to thank Katrina because she did a lot of work to get that.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. It prioritizes park safety and ADA compliance with initial focus on Nelson and Cogden parks. The plan is available on the town website. It's not yet, but it will be tonight. And includes estimated timelines and costs. The restroom facilities, the ADA compliant porta potties have been rented. So we are paying for Cogden from April through November. And Nelson from August to November, with Michigan City supplying the park earlier in the season. Okay. The park programming, community feedback requested more programming. We're working on a yoga program, which actually is going to be yoga in the park, 5:30 at Cogden. And tentative dates to start off the program are 6:10 and 6:24. We've got an instructor, a leader, she likes to be
I have a
called.
question on that.
Mhm.
You said 5:30 AM, PM. Okay.
PM.
I wanted to I will make sure, that-
Man,
yes, that
and so we are in the midst of doing that, and we'll put that information on the website. We're looking into a children's summer program where pending facilitator availability and waivers and background checks will be required. And this is where they would like some help. They would request approval to add a 5th park board member to better manage increasing responsibility. And they request that we waive the political affiliation requirement due to limited candidate availability. So can we do that tonight?
Mhm.
And we
We
have
can-
two,
I know that we can waive the political requirements this evening. As far as the 5th park board member, what do we need to do is to adjust the ordinance to allow for that?
You don't need to do any, or you just can't find a fifth?
no, we want to add.
They'd like to
You have
add a
to, yeah, you
fifth.
have to change the ordinance.
So the reason for that would be so that there's not
The top.
a tie vote,
I mean,
right?
Yeah, we need to look and make sure that complies with the state. I mean, the time to have, we just went through all that process, but we can do that with a few readings. Going back, so that's just amending the ordinance, and just to add on to the waiving, needs to be a majority vote
mhm.
to
Mhm.
waive the political affiliation requirement, but you need to make a determination. So make a record of that it's necessary, and because of limited candidates and or those that can't meet the requirements in this specific instance, can't get enough of the political affiliations.
So
That needs to be your motion. And you need to
Okay.
make that determination as well as the efforts you've made to try, which is advertising, and you've had that out there.
And we have
several months,
advertised it.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we've got
We've-
received limited candidates for that that position. And
But
so
We do need to modify the ordinance to get a 5th member.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't do that
No.
tonight.
we'll have to
Okay.
do that one next
Can we
month.
get a mo-
Everybody here and everybody. All in one meeting. The couple meetings.
we'll make a motion for the political affiliation portion of it this evening.
You can.
I would like to move to waive the political affiliation for the Trail Creek Park Board.
So we have a motion on the table. Do we have a second? You can because you're the liaison. You still can. Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
Okay, I'll second the motion.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, and the new member board, then we recommend appointing Ally Mans as the 4th member. I don't know if Jennifer's
I
done,
do not know her.
did Katrina
No,
done the research?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
However, I do know that she came highly recommended by our town marshal as well.
Oh, okay. All right, well
So-
then they recommend appointing her as the 4th board member.
A 4th board member?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so she
Because-
would take the, right,
Right,
she would take the
not-
seat that's currently open for the
Okay.
park
Yeah.
board. So we need to vote in approval of Ally Mans. Do you know anything about her background at all?
I don't know
You do
anything.
not. Okay. It would be helpful if we had that. I don't think that I have.
All,
anything.
all I know is Katrina interviewed.
Yes,
She-
a few people.
So that's Katrina's recommendation.
Yeah.
her, her notes. So,
I'm looking to see if I have anything from her about and I don't, about the members other than the letter that you have. So we do need a motion to accept Ally Mans as the fourth park board
So this
member.
is going to be my motion. Based on Katrina's recommendation, I recommend Ellie Mann
Ally Mann.
mhm,
as the fourth park board member.
I'll second it.
Can we have some
Do
discussion?
we have any further comments or discussion?
Well, as part of this and the appointments, they're tiered, right? As who has a
Mhm.
1-year appointment,
Mhm.
which one will she be? 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year?
I don't know, how does that work?
We have an ordinance.
And if you do not know tonight, what I would suggest is when the process that we review, that we determine and take a survey of who's there. And if not, we can go back in and we can make sure that we have the record that's accurate.
I think
Do you want me to amend my motion then, like pending? Okay. Okay,
I think we can review that when we review the ordinance and amend it. Mhm.
got it.
So we've got a motion and a second on the table. Any further comments or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
So
Okay,
welcome Ally Mans to the park board.
okay, number 5, the mulch purchase for the playground. She requests approval to certified playground mulch for Nelson and Cogden from Kid Stuff Play Systems for $1,140. That includes $40, or I'm sorry, 40 cubic yards for Nelson Park, 10 cubic yards for the new swing area, and 30 cubic yards for the main play set, and 20 cubic yards for Cogden Park. Note, the supplier does not provide mulch installation services. The board will coordinate volunteer assistance for spreading. So I'm assuming they want to spend it out of their own budget, but do we need to approve that? Or
No,
what?
not if that's already in the budget. We don't need
It's
to approve
not.
that expenditure. We just have to figure out who's going to spread the mulch, because I know that the street department has been, no pun intended, but spread thin lately. And so we would normally ask the street department to do that. I don't know if,
It says we'll coordinate volunteer assistance.
Okay.
I
Honestly,
mean, we'll all
I
we'll
have,
help.
I have dealt with that company before and they will just dump it there and yeah, we have to spread it.
Okay,
So,
that's
so,
fine.
and will they deliver to each site?
yeah,
Mhm.
Show,
Mhm.
okay, because that would be helpful as well.
Okay, and then I'm down to the last 2 things. They would like to host a give back nights at local restaurants. Do they need to get council approval to do that?
I don't believe so. I'm going to defer to our attorney on that,
Because that is how they intend to, through fundraising,
start to raise
i-
funds.
is to refurbish, replenish the playground equipment.
Okay,
Okay,
Well,
so we don't,
Yeah, the board has the autonomy to do that. I think the thing to remind them, because they aren't necessarily used to collection of funds, is just to make sure they're timely turned into the clerk's office so they can be timely deposited.
okay. Well, they're looking at the same thing that Queens noted, where you go to a restaurant, you turn in a coupon and the restaurant gives a certain percentage back to the town.
Right.
right.
So they'll-
But
they'll-
but if they directed it, for instance, to the park board instead of the town, we want to make sure that it timely, it doesn't, through nobody's own fault, they put it in a folder and it doesn't make it there for a month.
Okay,
There are requirements that the clerk's office has for depositing that
okay.
we need to make sure that as soon as they get it, it gets turned over.
The other thing that I would ask is that when you do those, that they write the check to the town of Trail Creek and in the memo, write park board.
Okay,
And that way they'll know, Crystal will know that that gets directed to the park board's fund.
okay. And then the other thing, they want, what kind of raffle can they legally do? And how do they conduct it?
I sent you an email response, which
Right.
is not, it isn't clear because it isn't clear. They're not allowed to do any.
Okay.
Right, and so there are limited circumstances, and I've had this discussion with previous president as well and shared, and I can share the same materials, but you've pulled them up. You have your finger on the pulse of it is there aren't. So maybe you want to affiliate with somebody who can conduct one, an entity that can. That
Uh-huh.
might be one way.
Okay.
And, but there are some circumstances that can help you. And if there are some limited permits, but you may not qualify. So the overall answer is that's probably not an alternative for you,
Mhm.
but there may be some options to try to work it around or approach some other entities that are able to do that. That might
Okay.
be able to help you out and lend their designation to a permit that would allow you to.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
can you do one? Yes. Legally, probably not.
And then the 2020, or I'm sorry, the 2025 Fall Festival is scheduled for Saturday, October 18th from 12 to 4. Planned attractions include vendors, food, music, kids' games, bounce house, face painting, silent auction, and a pet costume contest. And they're seeking sponsors and donors to help fund the event and support ongoing park improvements. So please share and refer interested parties to the park board. And I will also put that on the website for
Fantastic.
people. Okay? And that's about it. That's it.
Okay. That's a lot. You guys have been busy. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, moving on. I don't see our building inspector here this evening. Anything for planning and zoning?
No,
I don't believe that there was a report from the police department other than what we have in our packet, so we'll move on to the street department.
Well, I'm gonna start where you guys just left off with park boards. I'm glad they were able to figure all that stuff out. Cause I was getting emails, or I was in a couple different email chains as far as getting this mulch, figuring out how much we're supposed to have or want, and all the rest of it. I have no clue. It's not in our realm. I don't know what the legal requirements are, how deep, how much and all that. So I'm glad that was taken care of. As far as what's going on now, the storm damage was, I may as well start with April. Beginning of April was the first storm, right? April 1st through the 14th. That was a pretty big mess and took up a lot of time, segued us right into the spring cleanup and right back to square one. So we've been working. People need to realize, the residents and everybody, they're on a good day. I have 4 people, 4 of us, we're all part-time. It's a lot. There's a lot to do, limited resources. We'll get around and get everything cleaned up. We did the first time around. We'll get around this time and get it. So far, I haven't heard too much negative. I know there's a lot of stuff out there, but we are making a dent in it especially the last 2 days. We've run 15 loads over to the counties. It's nonstop. Keep going, keep moving. And it seems like we're not getting but a street, one small section or roadway as we do that. By comparison, the first storm in April there, that was 36 loads before we got cleaned up. And then right back into spring cleanup, that was 19. And then here we are with this. So by comparison, the last year's runs to the county doing SLBs and cleanups and all the rest of it, sticks, limbs and branches and all that stuff. We last year, I think, had about 120, maybe 130 at most runs over. We're at 67 already this year. It's not even June. So that's a lot. It's impacting our budget a little bit. We just kind of talked about that. Payroll, fuel costs, the whole thing. So just want to keep you guys in mind. I'm watching it and we're trying to keep tabs on all that, but it's going to end up there's going to be an issue there, I would think, the way things are going. So small, but we'll get through that part. On the flip side, the equipment that we're using right now for this has been working great. We haven't any issues, knock on wood now, with the stuff we're using now. The leaf machine is another story. We're done with that. I see there's leaf piles that came out and I've marked them, and those were well after spring cleanup. Those will not be picked up the leaf machine is down. It does not work. It's completely out. I have a estimate here for repairs that are required for that if we're going to go that route. I guess I don't know if we're going to talk about that tonight or or as I send that stuff out, but it's a little bit expensive to say the least. And right now that's down. We got to figure out what we're gonna do with that before we end up in fall trying to figure out what we need to do with it or with that whole program. Aside from that, the CCMG grant, I'm glad you spoke to that because I wasn't sure. I've gotten the emails and I've taken about 2 minutes each day to try and quickly look through stuff like that. And we're right back out there for the last 2 months. So that's sounding good. People are excited and I am too. Get that stuff taken care of.
We had Corings taken 11 of them. What? Anyway,
Or 12, yeah.
they all turned out great. We can mill off and put back without having to worry about taking too much off and then not having a good road base. The corings show that there's enough pavement that we can do what we thought we could do.
Okay, so the one area I do have a question about with that is the area near Whippoorwill and Johnson Road where the tree fell in the resident's yard and took up part of Johnson Road. Is that going to be an issue?
I don't think it will be. I don't really know that much about what they were planning on doing there. I'll have to talk to Sam about
Okay.
that, but usually when there's something like that happens, you put back what was there before, and then we can go on and do what we want to do as far as milling and then repaving.
Okay,
Okay. So far as that goes, I'm not sure what we're gonna do with that. We're still waiting for NIPSCO to go through site or 811. And then Johns is gonna be pulling that root ball out and
okay,
we'll figure out what we're gonna backfill, what we need to do. That's something I was gonna get with those guys about as soon as that gets going. Since we're on that topic real quick, there's another tree right next to that one that it took out a lot of stuff there. It's pretty hollowed out from what the report I got from Johns this morning. And they're wanting to know if they can take that down. So I'm waiting for an estimate from him to present to you guys. I do not have anything as far as costs associated with the one they've cleaned up already. That was pushed by someone else and I was not aware that was actually happening. So as I was out of town this last weekend. So
okay,
come back to this. So and I can talk to you more about that later, but so I'm not sure what that's gonna end up being.
okay. I'm glad it was taken care of. That was an
Yes.
emergency situation,
Yep.
something that couldn't be changed.
Yeah, we
so.
couldn't have, that's huge.
Yeah.
So, I don't have the equipment for that right now. But SLB policy, I guess my other thing, I sent that out to everybody, something a couple of months ago. The council requested that myself and
Mhm.
the town attorney kind of explore a little bit. He did some digging on a few different communities, some information, sent it to me. Tried dissecting that, see what fits here with Trail Creek the best. And that's what I sent out this last week is what we kind of came up with. Cleaned up nicely by Crystal. Thank you. Or AI, I'm
The
not
team
sure,
effort,
but one or
okay.
the other.
Beautiful team effort. Okay,
I'm not sure how you guys want to proceed with that. That's the policy ideas I have. As I
Okay.
mentioned, rough draft sort of kind of, and how you want to clean it up, I guess is how you want, if you even want to.
so I want to circle back to the leaf machine because I know that
Yes.
estimate isn't
Mhm.
in our packet tonight, but you had mentioned it was around $15,000 just for the issues that we know need to be repaired.
I just got this.
And that doesn't include any additional issues that they might find once they open it up and start really looking into things.
These are the knowns, yes, very much.
So
Like a
this is-
cleanup and reinstall of the impeller that we already own here. It's
Mhm.
here. They're gonna put all that back in for us or not. It's gonna ship to Fort Wayne. They will come get it, and if this goes through, they would come get it, take everything and go to town.
So I think that's something, how soon does that need to be done if we're going to do it? Can we wait until next month to make that decision so we have a little time to kind of look over it and figure out
Probably
where
would
the
have
money
to,
is going to
yes,
come
but-
from?
Yeah, I would say, I guess we'd have to, and I can check with them what kind of time frame if we're to do this,
Okay.
we're gonna go with this. What kind of turnaround am I looking at?
We're gonna
Need
look
it
at
back
that
by
later.
October, the latest, so if we
Okay.
stick with things as they are.
And then I had one other question for you. I know we have a wood chipper back there. Are we able to use that at all?
We
in
have
cleaning up
used-
the
I've-
storm damage?
7 loads have already gone over
Okay,
for the first cleanup, and three or four we've
Okay.
used on this one. Yeah, that's besides the the dump loads and
Okay.
the dump trailer loads, dump truck and all that stuff.
That makes a huge difference in,
Yeah.
in the number of loads too.
Yeah,
So
the first thing I think
interesting.
they hit Friday was with that. They started going to town. There's so much big stuff and you just feed that thing and keep on going. So
Right.
they knocked it out with that. to get
Okay.
Streets open primarily, but but there were several intersections. The last one was cleaned up this morning. That was, I think, Green Tree
Mhm.
and that down there.
Which, yes,
Redwood.
residents were happy with that getting cleaned up. So thank you.
Yeah, I talked to one or two yesterday.
And then the other one this afternoon was Whippoorwill.
Meadowlark
Okay.
was, right around noon time went
Yep.
down. I don't know where that sits right now. NIPSCO was out there before I left the scene out there, so that was good.
Still blocked. Mhm.
So there's still probably wires on it.
No.
Are they?
Yep.
And they didn't have Davies come in to clear that? They went through,
They won't do that. If their lines are clear, they'll restring their stuff and leave the tree there anymore.
that explains several other sites then. Cause the last I knew is if it goes through those lines, that's theirs to move.
Yeah.
And clean up.
Yeah, as long as they're clear to do their work, they'll leave the tree there and it's up to the homeowner or the town to clean it up.
One lane should be open on that. I had it.
Yeah, Meadowlark,
that
there's
way.
one lane. Will be.
Okay, we'll have it out there tomorrow morning first thing. Just so
Okay.
that'll
Thank
be a
you.
first hit and then we'll continue with our.
Yeah, I've seen that multiple times where, yeah, they don't come out and have the tree trimmers remove any of that stuff anymore.
Okay. Yeah, actually, let me know.
That's unfortunate. Okay. Thank you.
All right, I think
Because I know you've had a full plate and
Busy.
a whole lot going on. So thank you for that. And um, you'll be up next again on the agenda. So if you want to stay there, you're welcome to stay right where you're at. Because
I'm sorry.
if you want to stay right where you're at, we're probably going to segue right into you because we don't have a NERC report for this month. So. So we'll go right into new business then with the street department sticks, limbs, branches and yard removal approval, letter approval. So council, if you haven't taken the time to read through this, please go ahead and take a moment just to look it over. Are you comfortable with the fees that you've listed? At a $50 service fee, and then if it's excessive debris, it would be $200.
I believe so. I think we talked about that initial meeting. I think
Okay.
a special meeting before
Mhm.
February. We kind of, when we went over this kind of.
Just
idea
wanna
of
make
your
sure you're
feel for
comfortable
you
with
guys.
those numbers too.
I think it's, yeah,
Okay,
I think it's better than it could be, but for the residents, yeah, I think it's a lot better. They may not realize it, but cost comparison.
The only change I would suggest with the $200 will apply line, you have to put the same thing, must be paid in advance at the town hall before the pickup can occur, don't you think?
Thought I had that in.
No, down
think-
at an increased fee of $200 will be applied and must be paid at the town hall before the pickup can occur.
I had that in the rough draft portion I'm looking at right here versus our.
Because
I thought it was in both.
I think, Chris, don't you think that would cover illegal?
I think it's a little more
But
It's mo-
clear and concise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
the way it looks though, like they have to determine that at the site if it's excessive or not, right? So if they're
Right.
there with the dump truck, are they just, and they paid the $50, are they just gonna leave it there until they pay the extra 200?
we're gonna,
Okay.
so, so
Mm.
That they pay 50 that you're even going to the site. That gets you to the site.
I would imagine. Called out. It's regular, okay, this average gravel.
But are you gonna assess it first or are you going to the site?
Yes, and it should have something in there, because I kind of have another street commissioner myself, a representative of the street department will assess other request for pickup and determine if the load is deemed excessive. And inform the resident if they're available in town hall, so the proper service fee be collected prior to any pickup.
Okay. That's valid. Yeah.
Included in the $200, is
I
it?
think that would be appropriate. It's up to you guys, but I think it would be.
That's what I was gonna ask, what your intention was there. Is it $50?
Yeah, that's what I
And
was,
then another 150 for a total of 200?
Probably for a total of 200.
Okay,
I would kind of think
that was your thought process behind it?
50 on the actual pickup, so
Right, an additional $250 fee.
okay, gotcha.
Something we can vote on today and make the adjustments.
If you're comfortable with what that wording is, sure.
This, of course, would not pertain to the severe storm there. You guys saw that clause in there if you've made it to that. That pickup would go for, I think you guys requested a 2-week period from the time of the storm to.
We did.
So I wanted to make sure that was included. People don't need to call, we know.
I think the last,
29 so far, yes,
I
I'll be
was saying,
around.
I think the last two
Coming.
storms we had should be a pretty good indication if you guys can get through the town in 2 weeks to pick that kind of stuff up.
We're gonna be tested right now, but we're gonna make it pretty confident.
Well, I'm just gonna hope you don't get another storm within that 2 weeks.
Well, I hope
No.
not.
I hope
It's just, yeah,
It's like profanity.
yeah.
I don't have any other issues other than that wording change in the first portion there.
Yeah.
Does anybody else? Then we need a motion to approve the Trail Creek Street Department policy for sticks, limbs, branches, and yard debris removal.
I move to approve the street department policy for SLBs and yard debris removal with the amendments that have been
Noted.
suggested.
Okay,
I'll second it.
thank you. Any further discussion or questions?
I have one, I could.
Yes, Mr.
When would
Baker.
you guys be looking at want to institute? It's like a June 1st type of thing, or, I mean, just
I
so we
would be
kind of have an
comfortable with
idea.
June 1st.
The storm stuff that's out there now, again, that's just like any storm. It's,
And that gives you a little more time to clean up after this storm so that
Yeah.
you can get through the town at least once.
Yeah.
Maybe twice more if you need to.
yeah, it's kind of
Um,
not fair right now to.
Right, that gives you time to finish what you've already started with this storm, and then we can move on to implement this June 1st if you're comfortable with that.
I am. So I think
Okay.
it's a good idea.
So also we can make a Facebook post and
Put it on
if
the
you would like, we can also do a newspaper. If you
A
would
press
like to
release.
go that far.
Mhm.
Okay,
And if you send me a PDF, I'll put it on the website too.
okay.
Okay, fantastic. So we have a motion and a second to approve this policy with the changes as noted. Any further questions or discussion? And effective June 1st, yeah. Hearing none, do we, all in favor? Please signify
Aye.
by saying
Aye.
aye. Aye. Jumping the gun there a little bit. Okay, so we now have an official policy for you. Which is great.
Good.
Okay, thank you. Moving on, we have the sealed bids for the surplus vehicle. If you could hand this down to Mr. Willoughby, please. We will have him do the honors of opening the bids for us.
Like we need like a finger.
Absolutely. An exciting time. There have been a few bids on this. It's nice.
Yes, so we did have proper publication of notice of the town accepting sealed bids for the surplus vehicle. That ran in the newspaper as required. Clerk's office posted. Town hall, I'm not sure if it was on
It was
the town
on the
website,
website,
we're
yeah.
not required, but there we have it, so We have 3 bids sealed. First one is dated May 14th, 2025. It's a bid for the 2015 Ford Explorer. Can't handle those. First bid is from Joseph Zerbes, and the bid is for $1,000. Next bid. Should have used that. These aren't the pull tabs stickers. Next one is from Emergency Remarketing and Brett Patty, president owner, bid of $1,378.18.
All right.
18.
18.
Last, hopefully more. Ringwood Motors. Bid is $1,280. So your highest bid responsive. $1,378.18 from Emergency Remarketing, and on behalf of that entity, Brett Patty is president owner. So we have a decision to make. You do have the option to reject all bids. Vote to accept one of those, and we just need to make sure that we identify the bidder to whom it's awarded as well as the amount that's accepted.
Council members, your thoughts?
I have no idea.
I'm good with the bid.
I would think that we should accept the bid that, the highest bid that we
From
have there.
Emergency Remarketing
Mhm.
for the amount of $1,378.18. That
Okay.
would be your motion.
So do we have a motion
I move to accept the highest bid.
from Emergency Marketing, you said it was?
Yeah.
Okay. And that would be in the amount of $1,378.18. So do we have a second?
Seconded.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any further questions or discussion?
Crystal.
Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carries. Thank you. We do have old business this evening, which would be the repair on the 2018 Dodge Charger. You should have a repair order for that in your packet. The total of the repair cost was $5,565.90. And Crystal, I know that we have a fund we were going to take this from. You want to turn your mic on and maybe,
Could we possibly apply some of that bid that we just received towards this new, for this, maintenance work?
We can. I'll have to write up. Yes,
Okay.
Mhm.
so yes, we can. We can use the bid for some of this payment. And we can have the option of, you have 2 options. You can take it out of the police maintenance repair and maintenances for this. They have quite a bit of money in there, or we can take it out of our riverboat. So that would be up to you guys how you would like to delegate the rest.
we do have the necessary amounts to cover the entire amount in police maintenance and repairs. What would that leave us with?
Will you pass that appropriation report down to me?
Yeah.
On the riverboat, it would cover completely, and then it would come out of the lit repair and maintenance. As of right now, there's $8,219.14, 44 cents in there. So that's a decision you wanna, if you, just in case we have another breakdown, we have it in there, use the riverboat or use the maintenance. And then if something breaks down again, we always have the option.
And
to
so
use
riverboat we use for a variety of other things though, correct?
Correct, but it's also for, it's kind of like our rainy day fund where an emergency. So
Mhm.
I don't know if you want to consider this emergency or take it out of the lit repair and maintenance because it can be used because it is a repair.
We have the money.
I would feel comfortable taking it from lit, and then if we need to, we can move money out of riverboat later, correct?
Correct.
I would say so.
Anyone else?
So you want
Opinion?
to take the full amount out of this to pay it and then, because how we would do that is we would put the money from the bid once received into the general fund, and then we would pay this out of the general fund. That's how it would work.
And you said we can always move money from Riverboat back to lit if maintenance and repair if we need to. Because what I don't want to
We
do is
just
I
would
don't
have to
want
vote on
to-
that to do that.
I don't want to have them go over budget in any one of their funds, just because we had to make an extreme repair.
Well, they
an
probably
emergency
are gonna
situation.
already cover their funds in their. Right now, their funds for their garage and motor. They currently only have $966 left for the year. That only leaves them at 70%, 17% left. And that's like their oil changes and that they've spent a lot of money in their car repairs for tires and all that so far this year. So,
And again, necessary maintenance.
so that's kind of what you have to think about is, do you just want to take it out of the riverboat now? Or we may have to dip into that repair for their motors, you know, for their,
If it is
for
maintenance and
their-
repairs, I'm wondering why tires weren't taken from that.
well, it's because the repairs and sorry, repairs and maintenance can also be for if, say, their printer went out in their car and they had to get a new printer for their ticket printer.
Mhm.
So that would also go into that fund. So it could be used for that type of stuff, but we try to keep garage and motor with car vehicle. And then we try to keep the repairs and maintenance to stuff like gun holster broke or some type of equipment that they carry on a daily basis. So we can take it out of there because it's a repair and maintenance. It's up to you guys, but
If there's something needed later, we could always vote to
Mhm.
right,
bring.
can.
people on.
Mhm.
Riverboat keeps you more flexible.
it
Right.
does. Yes.
So I would be comfortable taking it from the lit repair and maintenance, as long as everyone else is good with that.
Yes.
So then we need a motion to approve the payment to Wallen Auto of $5,565.90 to come from the lit repair and maintenance fund.
I motion.
Thank you. And a second,
I'll second it.
thank you. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I
Doesn't appear that we're going to have any public comment this evening. Any comment from the clerk's office?
No.
That was a dramatic no, thank you. Council comments.
I have one question. Didn't Warren say maybe a meeting or two later that he was gonna look into behind Evergreen Plaza with that ditch?
Yes, but I've not heard anything back.
Oh, because
He
there's
said-
still,
he did say he would look into it. I've not heard anything back.
okay, because there's still a mattress floating in the water.
Okay.
So, okay, I just wondered but I thought I'd heard that, right? He was gonna check
Mhm.
who actually owned it and. all
And
that.
depending on
Okay.
the portion of the plaza that you're
Right.
talking about, if it's Evergreen Plaza proper,
No, it's,
then that would be Dr. Cora. If it's closer to the furniture store, that would be the Pritz family.
oh, it's closer to Cora's,
Okay.
yeah.
Mattress falling back there.
Yeah, there's a mattress.
Any other council comments this evening?
No.
The only thing I would suggest is in following the county commissioners' resolution that they've got, that we join them in recognizing May as Mental Health Awareness Month. Just as a matter of public awareness, so to speak, because there are a lot of mental health issues surrounding, everywhere across the country right now. It's kind of a hot button topic and seems to be ever increasing. So just to join the county commissioners in their recognition and their resolution that they passed at the end of April and raise awareness that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Any other comments from anyone? We also have Memorial Day coming up, so please celebrate appropriately and honor the memory of our veterans. I know Crystal's office will be closed that day. Correct? You are on.
Yes, and Borden is going to be on a 1-day delay, so
Suspension
Friday,
that week.
yes. Thank you.
So any pickups that week of Memorial Day will be delayed by 1 full day. Hearing no other comments from the council, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Second,
I'll second it.
meeting adjourned. Have a great night, everybody.